When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish,
the podcast where DGAF stands for Daddy Gives Ass Fuckings.
He does, just so you know.
Yes, he does. Yes, Daddy.
Only if it's your birthday and you've been a good boy.
You get those spanks if you want them.
I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
We're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today, happy birthday, Kyle.
It's our birthday.
It's our birthday. Yay. We're 8 years old and tired.
It's been a long 8 years, Mike.
Yeah.
But happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. It really is just, we have like two kinds of show that we do with like a regular cadence, right? We do the birthday show always around April 3rd, because that was when our very first episode was in 2017. And then we do every multiple of 50 for episodes. We do a special Q&A version. And I just feel like the birthday ones are less stressful.
Okay.
Because we're not like trying to get questions. We're not trying to get people to send in their questions so we can A them. But also, like, it's kind of poignant. It's like, I think back to where we were when we started it all and how things have changed. And it creates a contemplative mood.
Oh, let's contemplate.
Yeah, I'm contemplating.
Okay, great. Speaking of where we started, I'm going to pour myself some rosé.
Ooh. That was some good audio, Kyle.
Thank you. Podcasting. To help celebrate our 8th birthday. Happy birthday to all of us.
Happy birthday to all of us. So it's my fault that we didn't meet in person yesterday to do our normal thing. So I got Derek cookies that he can't have.
Cookies through the internet is the meanest thing. That's the meanest gift.
Do you want to see them, Derek? Yeah. Okay. Great. This is great. This is great audio. Ooh, look at those, Derek. Aren't those fancy?
Those look fucking amazing.
They look like maybe they're Oreos with shit on them.
I'm going to wet dream about them later.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Happy birthday. Okay. What else, Kyle? What else are we doing?
Yeah, we're talking about birthdays today.
We're talking about birthdays, and I'm interested to find out, are they gay?
Are they gay? What's gay about birthdays? And I think we'll find out together.
Great.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
But first,
a
couple of things. Should we do the cruise up front?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You kind of already spilled the beans.
Oh, well, okay. It's our 8th birthday this week, everybody. But for our 10th birthday,
we're thinking that far ahead. Because I don't know. Lord knows I don't have anything else going on. And the good people at Derek and Romaine have asked us to partner with them on one of their now famous cruises, and we've agreed. So we are going to be having our listeners and their listeners all together on one magical, unforgettable cruise of a lifetime. Yeah.
So,
and we're letting you know in advance so you can start saving up and planning out and doing all the things you need to do.
That's right. Save your pennies. And if you want to, you can already put down a deposit. If you're already like, boom, I'm in, then great. You can do it now. So yeah, if you go to gayishpodcast.com/cruise, you can get all of this information and get the link to Derek and Romaine's page where the actual booking and stuff is. But this is the Live Love Podcast 2027 cruise. And here's the thing. So you get 15% off, because this is a group thing, of a 7-day Mexican Riviera cruise out of Los Angeles. And not only do you get 15% off, but you get the drink package.
Very important piece right there is that you get the drink package included with the price.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, so I don't know if I'm reading these notes correctly, but it's either open bar, premium dining, a shore excursion credit, on board Wi-Fi credit. You can pick one, and if you get an inside or a studio cabin, you can pick two. Nope, other way around. You get all four of those things unless you have an inside or a studio cabin. Then you can pick two of them: open bar, premium dining, shore credit, Wi-Fi credit. So it is on the Norwegian Encore, Norwegian Cruise Lines, and it is February 7th through February 14th. If you want to secure your spot on board, it is a $250 deposit, and more shows are potentially being announced soon on top of Derek and Remain and Gayish, of course. When you fill out the form, there's a space there that says which show are you most interested in being there for, and that's kind of how we're divvying up the money, so put Gayish, please.
Yes. Yes, say that we sent you.
Say that, that we sent you. Anyway, I'm super excited, Kyle.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of good time to hang out. We're going to do all of our shows. Everyone's going to become friends and like leave as one big happy family.
We're going to do our show. Like you mentioned, we're going to do happy hours. We're going to do some stuff specifically for our Patreon folks, I think. We're thinking about maybe making a goodie bag, having mixers. There's going to be
if you say it, you got to do it. So are you committing to all those things?
An orgy on the poop deck.
Yes. Hopefully not any poop on the poop deck from the orgy.
Also, because people have expressed anxiety about this is not a gay cruise. If you're worried that it's just going to be like a glistening bodies and a meat market, like on some gay cruises you've heard of, that's not the vibe. There will be a bunch of straight people there also. So we will have our private events and people can hook up and fuck if they want to or whatever, but it's not a gay cruise.
Yeah.
Enough about that?
Yeah, enough about that.
Okay, great. Please come.
Please come.
Gayishpodcast.com/cruise.
Yeah.
Which after the cruise then will be where our glory hole is. And then buy our book, gayishpodcast.com/book, and come to our live shows. The day that this episode drops is just a few days until our show in San Francisco, which is coming up on Sunday, April the 6th at 2 p.m. at Oasis. And then on Easter Sunday, we will be in Dallas, Texas. That is Sunday, April the 20th at the Rose Room.
Go to gayishpodcast.com/book to get all the details and to buy your tickets.
Yeah, do it. Okay. Now the news.
Shut your mouth hole. It's time for your ear holes. News.
Okay, news the first. So the White House Correspondents Association is scrapping the traditional comedy portion of its annual dinner.
Because their entire thing is a joke. So what more do we need than just what they're doing already?
Yeah, exactly right. But under pressure from the dickbag fuckface asshole administration, the queer woman of color, Amber Ruffin, has been fired and is no longer going to be hosting and telling her jokes. So, yeah.
Only straight white cis men are allowed to do anything in this administration.
Well, and he just is so famously so thin-skinned. He's just a fucking pussy about like having anything remotely negative or critical about him. And of course, that's what comedians do. Like you can't be a comedian and like not poke at the bear. And so it's just,
he can't stand that. He can't stand anyone even jokingly criticizing him. And that's why he tweets all his mean tweets late at night.
Yeah. And that's why when we go on our cruise to Mexico, I hope they let us come back.
Or you know what? Maybe just chill on a boat for a little bit. That might be fun.
like the days of like the COVID days when he wouldn't let that cruise ship land because it would make our numbers go up.
Lower the numbers, yeah.
Oh, Jesus, Kyle. Anyway, I love Amber Ruffin, by the way. I don't know if you know her or know her comedy, but I think that she's fucking delightful.
Oh, no, I don't know her. What do you know her from?
Seth Meyers. She was a writer on Late Night for a long time, and then briefly had her own show, I think, that just never quite took off. It might still be going actually. Oops, I don't know. But she piloted one of my favorite segments on Late Night with Seth Meyers, which is Jokes Seth Can't Tell, where like
I know that segment, but yeah.
Yeah, she's one of the writers on that, and one of the people who pretty commonly is the one delivering the jokes. Anyway, I love her. I'm really sad. I hope this doesn't ruin anything, but
everything's already ruined, so
everything's bad, and you should feel bad today. News the second.
Great.
These are good ones, Kyle. I found 2 good ones.
Oh, happy birthday to us!
Happy birthday to us, Sandy Stone has been inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame, and that's important because she is the first trans woman to have been so inducted. She is credited with starting the academic field of trans studies and is also a recording engineer, an artist, and the first known trans woman in the National Women's Hall of Fame. And there's going to be a documentary about her and her story around toward the end of 2025. She was inducted into the hall last year along with several other prominent women such as civil rights icon Ruby Bridges, tennis champion Serena Williams, and scholar Kimberly Crenshaw. But yeah, we'll see what the blowback is going to be from, dickbag fuckface assholes, because you know how much they love trans people, Kyle.
Yeah, anything trans is an automatic like news story and angry tweet and what have you.
Yeah, but at least this institution has decided that trans women are women because they are.
Yeah, totally.
Congrats, Sandy.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Love you so much. I don't actually know. She might be a bitch. But I'm like, I'm just reading the story.
I'm just reporting the news here.
She's super, super duper important and has been to the trans community, and especially in the realm of visibility. She made history in 1987 when she wrote an essay titled "The Empire Strikes Back: A Post-Transsexual Manifesto." And she was responding to a woman that she described as, quote, a bigoted academic named Janice Raymond. Raymond had published a book called The Transsexual Empire, The Making of the She-Male, in which she attacked trans women, including Stone, by name. And so she fought back and really has been like nonstop ever since, fighting for trans rights and visibility. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, she's great. And then news the last?
Yeah.
Okay, news the last. So when Alabama Republicans cut funding to a local library in a dispute over LGBTQ plus themed books for children and teens, it took less than a week for that community to raise more than enough money to cover the loss of funds, so the library will remain open. So basically, the Alabama Public Library Service voted to pause $40,000 of funding to the Fairhope Public Library because they had refused to remove books with LGBTQ plus themes.
Because librarians know what they're doing. They're trained in this and they know the appropriate information to deliver to kids and adults at the right age. Like, this is what they're there for. Yep,
absolutely. Not that anything matters to them if they're pissed about queer shit. Yeah, so the community, instead of capitulating, instead of like saying, okay, those books can go, they said, no, fuck you, we don't need your money, and then raised $43,000 in a little less than a week to keep their library open. So, like, of all places, this redemption story, Kyle.
I guess that should, I mean, yeah, that's great. It's just frustrating. Great.
They shouldn't have had to.
They shouldn't have had to. And it's like, instead of taxes doing what taxes are supposed to, we're going to create our own taxes so that we can actually fund the shit that we're supposed to be funding.
Yeah, that's true. It does a little bit like remind me of like fucking like band kids having to sell chocolate bars so they can have marching band uniforms. Like, well, okay, how about you just fucking pay for band, you assholes?
Yeah,
anyway.
We had to do wrapping paper.
Oh, I don't like that.
Okay, I don't know.
Anyway, that's the news.
That's the news. Speaking of redemption stories, I want to thank the following new Patreon members. Thank you to Avi L. Avi spelled out their name phonetically, so I appreciate it. And if I fucked up your name in spite of that, then that's on me.
We know them. They came to the DC show, and the lesbian and erotica is them, I think.
Submitted or joined Patreon just to submit 100 words.
Yeah, love it.
And thank you to Baron Pug. Pew? Pug? Pug?
Pew? Pew pew.
Pew pew. I don't know. One of those names was hopefully right. If you want ad-free episodes a day early, if you want to use Mike's hole say 100 words, if you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/gayish podcast.
Do it.
Do you want to talk about birthdays?
Let's talk about birthdays, Kyle. First of all, it's almost yours.
It's almost mine. That's true. Mine is on April 9th. Just planning ahead if anyone wants to know that information.
And did you found the podcast with me to hide your birthday?
To hide my birthday?
Yeah. Does Gayish steal your birthday thunder every year?
No, because I don't care that much about my birthday, or I don't do that much for my birthday.
Okay.
Birthdays are weird for me.
Why don't you? Why don't you like them?
They're just
hate fun and you hate your friends.
Yes. I just think they're uncomfortable times to be like, hey, everyone, do something nice for me, which is like a weird thing to ask people to do.
But
and
do you feel weird when other people are like, it's my birthday, fucking do this thing?
Only if what they're asking is extremely extravagant, which sometimes happens.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I'm always worried that like, what if I planned something, what if no one showed up, and then I'd be sad and alone?
Yeah, this is why I do the live shows, everybody, because Kyle is very consistent.
I worry that every year, every live show we do, every birthday, that no one is going to care and no one will show up, and I'll be sad about it.
Yeah.
So instead, I think I've just set birthdays aside as like, I'm not. And plus, there sometimes.
So you do nothing, so you know you'll be sad.
I guess. No, if you have low expectations, then it's easier to hit the mark.
If you have low expectations, you'll be sad, but know who you can blame.
Yeah, you're like, do you want to be sad? Sure, let's be sad. Okay, I'm sad. Expectations met. Mission achieved successfully.
Well, okay.
No. I have friends this year. We're going on our twice a year we hang out with our D&D crew at an Airbnb, and we're doing that again around my birthday, so that'll be like the birthday celebration. Someone's making me a cake while we're there. So I have kind of a built-in like I have to have friends around my birthday this year. So that'll be nice.
Yep, it's going to be fun, Kyle.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I do want to talk to you about the history of birthdays.
Sure. Since people have been born, they've had birthdays, whether they knew it or not.
Right. Exactly. And I think,
if you ask me to define what a birthday is, I'm going to go crazy.
What is a birthday, Kyle?
Oh God.
No. First of all, do you think it's okay that I say that the podcast has a birthday? Because the podcast was never actually born.
Yes. I mean, it's common. Yes, that's common enough that people know what you're talking about.
Yeah, all right. Okay. Well,
why are you worried about saying that?
I do think it's weird sometimes to say birthday about institutions, inanimate objects, animals. I think people will celebrate their dog's birthday, which is adorable, but also like, I don't know.
Some dogs have more friends than I do. Like you'll like have a dog's birthday and more of its friends will show up than ever showed up to one of my birthdays.
Those people need more. They need to do something better. I don't know. Okay. So they haven't, you alluded to this, but like you have to have a calendar in order to have a birthday. And so like, you know, we humans haven't always had birthdays, and it really has only become sort of a modern thing with like the birthday cake and the candles and all of that. Is sort of whose fault do you think that is?
Is it the Victorians?
It's the Victorians because it's always the Victorians.
It's always the Victorians.
The Greeks and the Romans had sort of similar celebrations, but the modern concept of the birthday where everybody gets together and blows out candles on a cake and gives gifts to whoever it is, that's a sort of a Victorian construction. But special food being given to people on the anniversary of their birth is a thing that's been around for kind of a long time. And
I would love that. I mean, special food is being given to me on my birthday because someone's making a cake for me. But like, if it was all like give me food, it's my birthday, I would love that. And then I'd be like, okay, now everyone go home, and I'm going to eat this food alone.
Everyone go home. I'm going to eat this food alone. I'm trying to think, like, that doesn't have to be limited to birthdays, Kyle. Like, you can do that pretty much whenever you want.
I remember once when I was dating someone, I bought a bag of M&Ms and he went outside to smoke, and I ate all the M&Ms while he was gone because that was the time when he was alone and I could just eat everything I wanted to without anyone seeing. So I do enjoy eating things when everyone leaves.
Squirreling away those M&Ms in your cheek pouches. Okay, I wanted to talk to you about two things about birthdays, though, that are not necessarily queer specific, but are like worth talking about.
Okay.
One is this idea that legal status has to do with how many birthdays you've had.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just like a weird way to segue into talking about consent and how like the meme always is like the same picture of the same hot boy, but like he's 17 on the left and has his birthday and is 18 on the right, and like not okay to think he's hot, and now it's okay to think he's hot. Mm-hmm. And the idea that like your birthday is magical somehow, that it imbues status, and it is weird, right?
I mean, we have to pick some date. We
have to pick something.
And hopefully we've erred on the side of caution and said that by 18, you're old enough to make decisions for yourself and consent to things. So that's the goal. But it is going to be relatively arbitrary.
What I want to highlight here is, yes, agree with that. Full agree. Like that's just part of, having a well-organized society. You've got to have some mechanisms like this you have to make things black and white, even if they're not, because you have to have a law that you can apply.
Yeah.
But I think one thing that I want to highlight here, though, is that the number of birthdays is still not the same in certain jurisdictions if you're going to be gay. That like the age of consent is like 14 or 15 or 16 for straight people, and then they'll say it's 18 or 19 or 20 for gay stuff. And
why is that? Why do they think gays are so different than straights?
Well, and it's because it's built in that sodomy is bad. So they're like, okay, so we have to let them do sodomy, but do we have to let them do sodomy at the same time as the normal sex? Big old quotes around normal sex. There's really no other reason, right? Like it's not that
gays don't like develop at a slower rate or something. Like it's not developmentally or anything.
Right. Exactly right. It's societal judgment on the activity, and then like sometimes subtle, but sometimes just overt pressure against like butt sex is bad. So let's delay that until we're sure they're sure, or as late as we possibly can if we have to, because Lawrence v. Texas or whatever. It's just it's interesting to me how birthdays are, when you're younger, they are these milestones that like afford you extra rights, and those are different for gay people.
Yeah, that sucks.
Or at least have been historically. Yeah. It's getting better in a lot of places.
Is it?
Yeah.
No.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is the Sweet 16 in the United States or Canada, or the quinceañera in Hispanic countries or Brazil, and there are similar type of events in other cultures. But this idea that like you have a super special birthday and that's the one where you get to be absolutely ridiculous. And some of these things, my Super Sweet 16 made a whole show out of like just the camp glitter and explosions and like it's the gayest shit ever.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if there's an MTV show about it, it's probably kind of gay. I think that's one of the things I'm picking up on.
Just like go all out on the spectacle.
Yeah.
And be just as diva, like crazy queen out as you want to.
Yeah.
And then, just so much money, just grotesque amounts of money spent on just the opulence of it all. It just seems really, really gay to me. But I think that we should figure out what the gay equivalent is of the quinceañera. Like instead of having gay death be 30, I don't know, 40, when is it? Instead, we just like you get to have the gay version of a quinceañera.
Oh, like, so we take, like when you turn 30, all of a sudden you're dead to the gay community and people stop wanting to hook up with you and you are past the limit that some people have put on their profiles. So like on your 30th birthday, you get to celebrate that instead.
Yep.
I love that.
Yep.
Your gay birthday.
Yep.
It's your 30th birthday. Let's welcome you into your age with grace and style and class and parties.
And maybe you get to have one every 30 years.
I like that.
30, 60, and 90.
Yeah.
We'll workshop this a little bit.
Okay.
But I want to build up some serious traditions around gay aging.
Yeah. I love the idea of building positive associations with gay aging because so many people have such negative like perceptions of it. And people stop wanting to hook up with you and put on their profiles that no one over 30 or, whatever, olds or, when we should like celebrate our aging community because that's like a benefit that our community has not always had.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. And the profiles where people say like, be about my age. Well, what the fuck does that mean to you, Twink?
I never know what is about your age. Like some people just put like plus or minus 10 years. And then
That's
I know
at least
specifically it gives you a little bit more guidance than be about my age.
Yeah.
Are we talking a year or two? Are we talking 5 years? What's about your age?
Be clear.
Be clear. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Well, let's talk about why birthdays are important.
Why are birthdays important, Kyle, besides legal rights?
Besides legal rights, I got this article from Gay Therapy LA by Ken Howard. It's from 2011, but I don't think I think it ages just fine because the celebration of birthdays hasn't changed that much since 2011. Why do you think birthdays are important?
Because we've decided they are.
You think it's purely a societal construct?
Well, time is a societal construct, Kyle.
Oh, we're going there. Hold on. I need another glass of wine for this. Time is an illusion.
I mean, I do think I love anniversaries. I really do like, the cadence of a year. My perception of it, the older I get, has changed, and years are flying by now. But it does like create this opportunity to like carve out a place to think back and remember and look ahead and plan your future. And I think the thing that's interesting about birthdays is because everybody has different ones. I mean, there's 366 choices. They get to be personal and personalized, and they let us focus on somebody and care about them in a sort of ritualized way. I think it's all great.
Yeah, that's very true. I like the individualist. Like we rarely have holidays except for birthdays that are really individualized to specific people, to say like, we're not celebrating everyone like, Christmas or Hanukkah, like where we celebrate everyone together. We're celebrating you, the individual, and who you are.
Yep. Yeah. I think about the phrase like, this is my day. And the only other day you get to say that is your wedding, I think, which is why I'm trying to have as many weddings as I can.
I'm still aiming for that one. So this ties into, I think, several of the things that they included on the list. First, birthdays are a celebration of our existence. I think it's interesting because the article mentioned a couple times that celebrating people's existence is one way to help prevent people from suicide, from like by reminding people that they are worthwhile. The article said this notion is particularly poignant in the wake of recent gay teen suicides. If only these kids had heard this message along with the "it gets better" one. That celebrating your existence is an important thing. So I think that's, you know, mental health challenges particularly affect LGBT people. And birthdays are one way to individualize your attention and remind people that they are uniquely and very specifically important.
I wonder if your birthday is a big holiday, if that then makes it more likely that you'll commit suicide.
Ooh, I have some info on this.
Do you?
The birthday effect, coming soon to a segment near you.
Oh, God. Okay.
Hang on to your butts.
Shut up, Mike.
Shut up, Mike. Birthdays let other people celebrate us. Birthdays remind us of where we are in life existentially, which sometimes that's a bad thing for me, to be reminded of existential kind of existence. Can sometimes fill me with a little bit of dread or like lack of importance, you know, when you realize you're just this dot in the universe that doesn't actually mean anything. So I don't know, sometimes being reminded of who we really are isn't that helpful for me.
Yeah, this birthday I'm feeling pretty shitty, and if I look back, last birthday wasn't that great either. That makes it even worse.
Yep. In the article, they said, for me, firmly in middle age, I can celebrate what that means. And middle age is capitalized. So it makes it seem like they're celebrating the Middle Ages for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know. There were a lot of random capitalization in this. But depending on where you are in your life, they, I think because this person does therapy, works with other gay people, birthdays, they work on, they said, like, people in various stages, 20s, celebrating friends, sex, new careers, midlife, help navigate the transition into a new phase in their life. When they work with people in early senior ages, they try to challenge the notion that aging means inevitable decline and try to embrace joys of getting older. So where you are, what phase of your life you're in, can also kind of determine how you take stock of yourself and what you do to celebrate that. I'm very close to 40. I'm turning 39. So that's a big kind of thing that makes me stop and reflect on, like, where am I in life and what have I achieved and what do I still want to achieve and who am I and all that stuff.
Interesting.
Do you remember your 40? What was 40 like for you?
I mean, it was the worst, but that's
okay. You know. Great. Can't wait.
No, it was fine. It was easier than I thought it was going to be. I think there's a generational thing, though, that, like, more millennials in my life are anxious about being behind. Like, I'm behind where I thought I would be, or where I wanted to be, or where I think I should be. And I hear that way more from my millennial friends than from my Gen X friends or my boomer friends. And I wonder if that's because, like, we dealt you a shitty hand. Like, you know, we told you all to go to college and then gave you jobs that couldn't pay back the loans. And I don't know. I feel like birthdays do bring out, though, that sort of, gosh, I'm turning 39. I thought I would be somewhere else. And I don't know. That feels generational to me. Do you think that's true? Does it make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. I think the average age of renters, I believe, is going up. So, like, you know, people thought they were kind of promised that they could, like you said, go to college, start making money, buy a house, have kids. That was kind of the dream that they were promised. And like a lot of my friends are deciding not to have kids. And I get the feeling that some of them are making that decision not because they don't want kids, but just because it would be like irresponsible, or they can't afford it, or, you know, for other kind of external circumstances. But yeah, I think of like where I'm at in my career and where I'm at with relationships. And when I approach 40, I think of all the ways that I have failed in those departments, rather than celebrating what I do have with, in terms of relationships, like the friendships that I've built. The community that we've built through this podcast is something I should celebrate, you know, when we talk about relationships, to celebrate. So
yeah. Although you did say friendships plural, which leads me to believe you think you have other friends than me.
You're the most important, Mike.
Good. Don't fucking forget that.
I think we kind of said this, birthdays remind us to set aside time for joy. Let's see. For gay men in particular, birthdays are a celebration of cultural milestones. I think this is another one where like the article talked about like we have survived through challenges that other people might not have. So to reach various ages and to get older is a unique celebration that we get to enjoy. And lastly, this is something that I like that it said is birthdays are a time to recommit. I think a lot like New Year's is a time, like if you want to take up the New Year's idea of committing to goals, you can, like you don't have to, but that's a good time to reflect on it. Birthdays are a good time to reflect on your values, your goals, your mission, who you are, and kind of make a decision about what you want from the upcoming year. And I think sometimes I see that as, like I said, like when you're like reflecting on your expectations of yourself, that can be hard and lead you down a path of despair. But if you let that be like an optimistic place of there's, you know, I value who I am and what I've achieved and want, and here's what I want to continue to get from life, that can be a positive thing.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why birthdays are important.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. There was a lot of sadness and dread in that. I should have made it more optimistic overall, but I think I ended on an optimistic tone, which I think is useful.
Well, one thing I really like about what you said though is like sometimes it's okay or maybe even necessary to just decide I'm going to be happy, damn it. Right? Like put on a silly hat and eat your body weight in cake or icing and like play games and sing songs. And there is a cool utility there, I think, that we don't have a lot of vehicles for.
Yeah. And I will say, like, if birthdays bring up negative feelings and challenges for you, like you're not alone in that. That's the other thing I would say is like if it's not, you know, roses and sunshine and good feeling, if there are hardships and, you know, this existential feelings that may cause, you know, like negative emotions, that's okay. And other people feel that too. And you can still take positive where you can find it, whatever that is.
Yeah, for sure. And you're right. There's a lot of like childhood trauma stuff around birthdays too that can make them like not great for people and triggering to experience. And I need to be more mindful of that, I think. I had the good fortune, the privilege of having fond memories of that, and that wasn't fond for everyone.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle. Well, I wanted to talk for a little bit about the J-dubs.
Okay.
So Jehovah's Witnesses are a lot. They're a lot.
Yeah, they have a lot of opinions about things.
They have a lot of opinions about things, and they like to ring on doorbells and tell people about their opinions. And but I famously, Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate birthdays.
Right.
And I was looking at why don't they celebrate birthdays a little bit?
I don't know this. I knew that they didn't celebrate birthdays, but I have no idea why.
Yeah. So on jdub.org, which, yes, that is a website.
Is it spelled? How is it spelled?
jw.org.
Oh, okay. I thought it was spelled jdub.org.
That would be hot. But there's an article on their website. Why don't Jehovah's Witnesses celebrate birthdays? And it says, so quote, Jehovah's Witnesses do not celebrate birthdays because we believe that such celebrations displease God.
God? Okay. Why is God displeased by birthdays?
Although the Bible does not explicitly forbid celebrating birthdays, it does help us to reason on key features of these events and understand God's view of them. Consider 4 of these aspects and related Bible principles.
Okay.
Number 1, birthday celebrations have pagan roots.
Oh, pagan is evil.
Yeah. And that's
but a lot of shit we celebrate has pagan roots.
Christmas trees, and I don't think they do Christmas much either.
Okay.
Easter bunnies and eggs, that's all pagan stuff. Like, you're right. There's a bunch of stuff that's pagan, but the logical fallacy of like origination or whatever that's called. What is that called? It's a logical fallacy to say that something is bad because of where it came from. Like if Hitler says that he likes the color purple, that doesn't make the color purple bad. So just because something started with pagan roots doesn't mean that it's necessarily even pagan or bad. It just, anyway, whatever.
Or just because something started from a good place doesn't make it good. Like, right. Just because it started, I think there's maybe is it the naturalistic fallacy that a lot of people are like, oh, it's not natural. Right. It's like, well, neither are glasses, but I think they're useful.
Yep. Okay. So they think that birthdays, we're going to talk about astrology a little bit later, but that birthdays are related to casting horoscopes and the mystic science of astrology, and birthday candles in folk belief are endowed with special magic for granting wishes. And that all of that is magic, divination, or spiritism, and they fucking hate that.
Man, they must hate Harry Potter for different reasons than we hate Harry Potter.
Right. Exactly. Yep. And they do. And Dungeons and Dragons and anything fun, really. Number 2, the early Christians did not celebrate birthdays, which this is a similar logical fallacy, right? Like, just because they didn't doesn't mean that that's something you're not supposed to do either.
Early Christians didn't have electric vehicles.
Right. Exactly.
There's this Boy Jr. is an artist who has a song that is based on a tweet that says, like, blank is not in the Bible. Like, gender is not in the Bible. Something else is not in the Bible. And then they made a song that's like, pot roasts are not in the Bible. Like, it's a song based on what is not in the Bible. And it just lists thing after thing of what is not in the Bible.
It has to go on the Gayish podcast thing now, right?
I wonder if there's a Spotify. Okay. Just so you know, Boy Jr. Official, BOYJR Official is Boy Jr. And surely if you look up their most popular videos not in the Bible, it should be one of the top ones.
Check it out. Yeah. So just so weird. Okay. Number 3, the only commemoration that Christians are required to keep involves not a birth, but a death, that of Jesus.
Oh, because that's like, all of these are some kind of logic. Like, I can both keep Jesus's death in my brain while also keeping a birth in my brain. Like, it doesn't bump out Jesus's death if I think about a birthday.
Right. Yep, exactly. Ecclesiastes 7:1 says the day of death is better than the day of birth.
Wow.
And, but that's why they're down with Easter, but just the Passover part, or not the Passover part. Jesus Christ, Mike.
Jesus Christ, indeed.
The death and resurrection stuff.
Gotcha.
And then number 4, the Bible never refers to a servant of God celebrating a birthday. And the 2 birthday celebrations that are in the Bible didn't go great.
What births are in the Bible?
Pharaoh's birthday in Genesis 40, and in which the Pharaoh, because it was his birthday, decided to hang the chief baker.
Oh,
so it sounds like it's the Pharaoh's fault, not the birthday fault.
Yeah, it does. You are kind of absconding the blame a little bit.
And then Herod in Mark 6 has a birthday, and that's the birthday where the king said to his daughter, "Ask me for whatever you want and I will give it to you," for his birthday. But he swore to her, "Whatever you ask me for, I will give it to you, up to half my kingdom." So the girl went and asked her mother, "What should I ask for?" And she said, "The head of John the Baptizer."
Oh,
So John the Baptist's head on a plate was a birthday gift.
happy birthday.
Therefore, birthdays are bad.
Okay.
Again, I don't think that was the birthday's fault. I think that was the murderous intent of a girl's mother. But whatever.
Yeah, birthdays don't kill people. People kill people.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Anyway, J-dubs, they also don't like gay people. Just
Okay.
in case that wasn't clear. So, they cite the same old clobber verses and the same old tired bullshit, a lot of which is logical fallacy also, about why they don't like gay people. And it's unnatural and whatever.
Yeah.
Don't eat shrimp either. Anyway.
Yeah. This is another vote for birthdays being gay, because if J-dubs don't like birthdays and don't like gays, that means to celebrate birthdays is gay.
Yep. I like that.
Infallible logic.
You've done it. You've that's ironclad. That's airtight, Kyle.
Airtight.
All right. Tell me about the birthday effect. You said you have birthday effect.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Speaking of death on birthdays.
Yeah.
The birthday effect is something I just learned about. It is the statistical phenomenon where an individual's likelihood of death appears to increase on or close to their birthday.
Weird. Okay.
Now, this is controversial, but I'll tell you why. The first large-scale study used the records of over 2,700,000 Californians who died between 1969, and 1990. They corrected for factors such as deaths, as seasonality in deaths, elective surgery, and people born on February 29th. So good call on correcting for leap year.
Yeah.
The results of this first large-scale study were that there was a significant increase in deaths in the week before the individual's birthdays for men and the week after the birthday for women. In both cases, mortality did not peak on the birthday itself, but rather close to it.
Why? What? Okay.
Why? There are a few possible explanations. First is alcohol.
Yeah. The cause and solution to all of man's problems.
Yep. Mommy doesn't drink. She just has fun.
Yep.
You got me that magnet. Binge drinking can increase your likelihood of death through alcohol intoxication, accidents, drunk driving, exacerbating existing conditions, increasing suicide risk, all things that, if you tend to drink more around your birthday may affect you.
Boy, do I.
And you're right. I did not buy a drink my last birthday. In spite of what I said about birthdays, I did do a thing at a local gay bar, and I don't think I bought a drink most of the night. And boy, did I drink.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
You are welcome.
There are psychosomatic and psychological effects. There are apparently two kind of contradictory ideas. At least that's what the Wikipedia article said. A birthday provides a fixed date to focus on. So terminally ill people may hold on until the day itself.
Yeah.
So there's both like a goal, so like kind of a positive thing to achieve. On the other hand, a birthday also reminds the individual of mortality. and it's may cause stress and may accelerate death because of that.
Yeah. Don't stress out, man. Stress is a killer.
Don't stress out, but like
now I'm stressed about being stressed.
Yeah,
now I'm stressed about being stressed about being stressed.
The cycle. Yeah, it's hard to learn about stress and then tell yourself not to be stressed about the stress.
Yeah, chill out.
Okay. Yeah, relax. There is a physiological effect potentially. Just like the 24-hour circadian rhythm, it has been suggested that there is a yearly circannual biological rhythm.
Okay.
So the climactic conditions at birth trigger internal stress and increased chance of death.
That sounds like bullshit.
Is there a yearly rhythm in our body? I don't know. Do the planets might have bigger effect on us than we think, and the sun and shit.
Or the sun. Seasonal depression is for real, and that's for sure the sun. But
yeah. The last one that's the least likely is statistical. They said that when processing death certificates, it's easy to confuse the date of birth and the date of death fields, but that would only increase the likelihood of death on the day of your birth. And a lot of studies show, it's the week before or after, so it doesn't explain those.
It's so wild to me, though, that it's different for men and women.
That it's right? Like,
why would men die before their birthday? Why would women die after their birthday?
I mean, men die before women in general, so...
Well, yeah.
I don't know. Okay, but just to be very transparent, some studies have found that the highest mortality is on your birthday itself, which is not what that first large-scale study said. So that's different. Other studies have not found a correlation at all. So whether this is real or not is kind of up for debate, depending on which study you look at and who you ask. There have been smaller biographical studies that show a birthday effect within the subpopulations of MLB players and people with entries in the Encyclopedia of American History.
Okay. Correlation causation, is that?
I think I didn't write it down, but I think they talked about, like, if you are more well known, then around your birthday, you are more likely to reflect on your career having been like over, like what you've achieved, and now it's past, and that may increase, your stress or the negative side effects of a birthday. So it may be more pronounced for people who are more well known and were well known in the past.
Yeah,
which I think I can see.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well, don't die, Kyle. Especially not while we're at an Airbnb, because we won't get a deposit back, and
additional cleaning fee. Reynolds will have to get adopted by someone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I won't die until later.
That's comforting. Well, okay. Speaking of dead gays, I want to talk to you.
What a transition. We've been doing this for 8 fucking years, Mike. What a transition.
Great. I want to talk to you about Harvey Milk.
Yeah.
And so Harvey Milk, without going like too far into it, because I think that we've covered him off and on over the 8 years of our existence, Kyle.
Yeah.
But he was a big figure in the gay rights movement in San Francisco in the late 1970s, and was the first openly gay man to be elected to public office in California as a member of the Board of Supervisors, and ultimately he was assassinated. And I think it's really interesting that when we were looking for ways to remember him and his impact for the community, instead of going for the day of his assassination, which was in November. He was shot November 27th of 1978. But instead go for his birthday. Like, let's celebrate his birthday. And that was just that was a choice, right?
Yeah.
To focus on the birth instead of the death. Take that, J-dubs. And so Harvey Milk Day is May 22nd every year. And it is officially recognized by the state of California as a day of special significance for public schools. It was signed into law by Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger. Remember when Republicans weren't that crazy? All they would do is vote for muscles. And then
I'm trying to think of a Jesus Harvey Milk joke that includes the phrase "I'll be back." I don't know. Never mind. Keep going.
I'll be on my back. That's Mom's joke, I think.
I was just looking up, like, is MLK Day, is that a celebration of his birthday?
I think so. Yeah. It makes sense that we would more often focus on the birthdays of people.
Rather than it's close to his birthday. Yeah.
But yeah, I think I always forget. And I want to make a concerted effort now to like actually do something to mark gay holidays, right? Mm-hmm. Like Stonewall, Pride is always the celebration of Stonewall, which that's sort of the birth of a movement in a lot of ways. That's absolutely not true because we've been around forever. But Harvey Milk is like top 3 historical gays. I don't know how like he brought so much visibility for us and moved the needle on a whole bunch of really important issues and encouraged people to come out, and coming out as a concept and a process. And maybe celebrating his birthday like as a little gay holiday instead of Christopher Columbus or whatever the fuck is something that I want to do for myself or for the community, you know?
That would be lovely. I think we talked about the gay angle to birthdays, like why gay people might particularly care about their birthday or the particular challenges that gay people face on their birthday. But we don't talk about like celebrating our gayness, you know, just going to a RuPaul's Drag Race live viewing isn't like, I don't know. That's not the only way to celebrate your gayness. You can like reflect on where you've come as a gay person. I don't often think back to like being alone and closeted and sad, like unless I'm writing a book about it or, you know, so like to reflect on where I've come from and the challenges that little gay Kyle faced and where I am now, like, and celebrate a person who helped move my rights forward. That would be a wonderful day to celebrate.
Yeah. May 22nd, Kyle, let's do it. We'll make a cake or I'll make a cake and you will eat it.
Okay. Well, we can do like they do in Mardi Gras and hide like a penis in it. And whoever gets the penis makes next year's cake.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. Is it an edible penis?
Don't they do like a plastic baby for Mardi Gras?
King cake. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think maybe we do an edible one to reduce choking hazards. I don't know. Gays love to choke.
I mean, it would be just like me to bake a dildo into a cake and then have it turn into like some kind of toxic cake because you're not supposed to bake dildos.
I'm just picturing someone choking on a dick as a way to celebrate Harvey Milk Day.
And then we all applaud.
Yeah.
Anyway, Harvey Milk's birthday, I want to nominate as the gay birthday we all should be celebrating. And it's coming up.
Someone in our Facebook group, remind us when it's coming up as a way to help remind us to do something for it. Because I'm going to forget as soon as we stop recording this episode.
Yeah, I'm going to forget also.
So someone in Facebook remind us.
Yeah. Nathaniel, you're actually on it. You're usually on.
He's on top of shit for sure.
What do you got, Kyle?
I haven't asked Reddit
about birthdays.
Okay. And this is a question we haven't broached yet. How do you celebrate your SO's birthday?
However they want.
Okay. Well, that was a fun segment.
Do you owe them sex?
Oh, you don't owe anyone sex ever.
Except your SO on their birthday.
This was posted to Ask Gay Bros by True Joker 1130, and they wanted to figure out what other people had done for their SO's birthday.
Okay.
And the very first response that I wrote down is nothing crazy, dinner and a present, and sex. So sex did come up as a common thing as a way to mark your SO's birthday.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time, like, especially if you've been in a relationship for a long time, like marking occasions and using sex as a way to do it, I think is good. I think it's good to find occasions for like some fun sex.
Oh, it's interesting.
Oh,
I think I agree, but I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Because I could, like, from a certain perspective, if you only have sex on special occasions, do you even like each other? Like,
I mean,
if it's just Christmas and birthday sex, then like.
But if that works for you, then what's wrong with it?
Well, that's true. That's true.
If it makes you happy, it can't be that bad.
Oh, Cheryl. All right. What else did Gay Bros ask?
Someone said this is the opposite. Took him to a nice Italian place downtown. He is part Italian, but we got too full for sex. Womp.
Womp womp.
Which I think that's also I hear that about people on their wedding nights as well, is like the sex is expected to happen, but if you like, you know, party too hard, eat too much, drink too much, you may not have sex. And like, maybe you're right about the, like, you know, if you build up expectations around sex on an event and it doesn't happen, you can feel disappointed, but like maybe it's fine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Wedding night sex, I think, is a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why?
You're going to be too tired, too drunk, too angry at your uncle. Like, it's no.
And you don't want like everyone just like, there's a hotel room that you got in advance for just the two of you. And it seems like there's a lot of pressure. Everyone's like expecting it from you, and then they're going to ask about it later.
Yeah.
And they think it's okay to ask about your sex life suddenly. I don't know.
Yeah. Yep. For sure.
Someone else said, yesterday was my birthday. My SO didn't do anything for me, but that's because my SO doesn't exist. So there's that. God. Someone said, last year I told him that I would have to stay at uni because I had a big exam that day. Actually, completely true. But my professor for that exam is also my advisor, and it was a class of 9. She gave me a different exam topic, and I took it the day before and took the next flight out to surprise him. In what can only be described as a bad rom-com twist, he also gone on a transatlantic flight to come surprise me on his birthday. We've since sworn off surprises unless we're getting engaged. Even then, that shouldn't be too much of a surprise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I get the idea of trying to travel a long ways to surprise someone, but like, I think
okay. To surprise someone on your birthday, I think means that you're the asshole, because you're not supposed to surprise other people on your birthday.
Yeah.
Leave yourself open to the surprises that are coming your direction.
Yeah, I agree. I think if you're going to surprise someone, like you gotta give them hints. Like I had a boyfriend who was really sweet on my birthday. But he told me there's going to be a surprise on this day and we're going somewhere. And he just didn't tell me where. So that's like
good, right?
Yeah, that was smart. So I knew to prepare for a surprise, but I could like schedule the surprise almost. So I really appreciated that. The last one I want to read is someone said simply steak and blowjobs. Which that's a solid birthday gift.
Yep. Can't go wrong with blowjobs.
Can't go wrong with blowjobs.
You can fuck up a steak. Actually, you can fuck up a blowjob.
You
Never
can
mind.
Fuck up a blowjob. You can fuck up both of those things very bad. If either one is burnt, it didn't go great. What else do you got, Mike?
Well, we have to talk about astrology at least a little bit, right? Like your birthday is what determines your place in astrology.
Hey, lesbians, we see you.
Hey, lesbians, we see you. Exactly. Exactly. And I feel like I've done this before. Maybe I haven't. But
it's our birthday. We can do whatever we want.
Have we charted Gayish's chart?
Oh, I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask because I forget literally what happened yesterday. So,
I should have found one that was going to work for free.
Oh, and one you don't need to like plug in I guess we have the time of birth because we could just plug in the time the first one was posted.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it's like the rising moon or whatever, like there's not just the sign, there's the.
Well, do we know what time it posted?
I don't know. Does it say? Scrolling. My God, we've done so many fucking episodes, Mike. Why are we still doing this?
I know, right? Well, now we're committed to 2027 because of this cruise.
Oh, man, it doesn't. I don't think it says the time the episode was posted.
Okay.
At least not on Spotify.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with 4 p.m.
Okay.
Because why not? So I don't know how to read this, Kyle. That's the problem.
Oh, did you?
The thing about astrology is so complicated.
Doesn't it just spit out an answer and you just read the text?
Well, we are in Aries.
Yes, I'm an Aries. So yeah.
So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac, Kyle.
First.
Aries natives are the first to start and the first to finish whatever they set out to do.
First to finish. That's not always a celebration.
Aries is an active, energetic sign. He sips his wine as I say that. People with sun in Aries are direct, straightforward, and uncomplicated. You are not any of those things.
I do not relate to my sign at all, which some people say is an Aries quality. But but when I read Aries, I do not relate to it.
Oh God!
But this podcast straightforward and uncomplicated?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. We kind of say what we're about and hopefully pretty directly talk about that.
Is Gayish a natural athlete?
It's been stretching its legs for 8 years and someday we'll get it to run.
God. Strong personality, entrepreneurial spirit.
Oh, we got to have a little bit of entrepreneurial spirit to like start up a podcast and start a business about it.
And we're in Gayish as an ascendant Virgo.
I don't know what that means.
It means that Gayish is more particular, ordered, and mild-mannered, at least in appearance, than a typical Aries. I think we have a chiller vibe than Aries are supposed to have. And
we're pretty ordered. That was something you wanted us to have from the very beginning, is structure and order.
Yep. People like to know what they're getting themselves into.
They like to know what's up. Yep.
Let's see. Financial problems may ease after marriage. Well, okay.
Maybe not applicable. To me and the podcast.
Moon is in Cancer.
Okay.
We have Cancer, Kyle. We have potential to get in touch with the feelings and moods of others.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah. But often they're quite wrapped up within themselves.
Maybe. To have a podcast is to be a little bit wrapped up in yourself, because you have to think that you are interesting enough, at least for, if we have an hour and 15-minute episode, then at least 50% of that, I'm expecting people to be interested in me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of time.
Yep. I'm interested in you, Kyle.
Oh, thanks.
Not that way. Shut up. Moon and Cancer natives tend to whip a dead horse.
Ooh, hate that.
They may dwell on hurts long after everyone else has moved on.
Oh.
They don't always confront others directly. Amen to that. Sometimes may act irrationally.
Hey, stop calling me out.
They have a loony sense of humor.
A boy, I don't know. It was Looney Tunes.
Likeable and sociable. Accommodating, devoted, nurturing, and accumulating. I don't know how to read this. I wish somebody, if you want to read our chart, I will give you all of the information for it, and we can do a Patreon bonus episode on it or something. Because I would love to have Gayish's chart read, mostly to know if we're going to survive long enough to go on that cruise.
I mean, we're asking people to put in a down payment. So the answer is most definitively yes.
Yep.
Yeah. On the Patreon bonus segment, I am going to talk about a few more Reddit posts that I discovered, not in Ask Reddit, but like other Reddit posts that involved birthdays, a little bit of toxic masculinity, some challenging ideas, more to come. Yeah.
More to come. Spell come.
The last thing, Mike, I have something for you. And this, like the cookies, this is virtual.
Okay.
So I'm going to give this to you when I see you next. Hold on.
Okay.
This is what you are in store for.
Ooh, shiny underwear. That's magical. Oh, Kyle.
Wow, they have a distinct smell. Might run through the laundry first before wearing them.
I will just because you never know. Never look gift underwear in the crotch, you know? I got you this, and it's a t-shirt that says, "I'm here, you're welcome."
Spell come.
I'll give that to you when I see you.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, us.
Did you talk about how you feel about birthdays? I talked a lot about how I feel about them.
I mean, I'm ready to be done with them, but
do you think at some point you'll just stop celebrating them?
No.
Oh.
I like friends and hosting and activities too much. I'm sure I don't like doing the gifts thing too much. Like it's fun to receive a present every now and then or something, but I don't want people to feel obligated and like, I don't know, but like a meal and get drunk and be the excuse why. I love that.
Yeah, that's great.
But I am sort of starting to 50 is looming, and I don't know why, but 50 feels like it's going to be harder than 30 or 40 were. And so I'm a little worried about that.
You got a few years to sort that out.
I know, but a few, like 46 is, getting up there.
Yeah.
But it's like my grandfather said, it beats the alternative.
It beats the alternative for sure, Z's. Yep. It's very poignant.
Yeah.
Are birthdays gay?
I kind of think that they are, yes.
I think gays are known for being a little bit self-centered and making shit about themselves. So birthdays as a reason to make shit all about yourself seems to tie in well together.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you think, okay, that's a kind of a negative stereotype of gays that I have.
And you put sprinkles on things and you light candles and there's explosions.
You make wishes.
I think it's gay. Something about it is very gay.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, should we take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break.
Let's take a break. Blow
Birthday
these candles
break.
out.
Yeah.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
So are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest. But first, hey. Oh God, Kyle, I'm not going to say this every episode until 2027. I want you to know that. I want you to know that I know that. And I want the listeners to know that. But we're doing a cruise. In February of 2027, the Mexican Riviera cruise for a week with Derek and Romaine's folks. And you can put a deposit now down on a fancy ass room. Go to gayishpodcast.com/cruise for more information on that. Way sooner than 2027, though. We are going to be in San Francisco, California this weekend, just in a couple of days from now, at Oasis. That is on Sunday, April the 6th at 2 p.m. Pacific. And then we're rounding out this little book tour in Dallas, Texas on Sunday, April the 20th at the Rose Room. And you can get tickets on our site, which is gayishpodcast.com/book.
Yeah. And if you want to buy our book, we wrote a book. I don't know if you've heard. I don't know if we've talked about it enough, but we wrote a book and
Kyle.
Oh, Mike. Oh,
we have an announcement.
What's our announcement?
That the book is going to be on audio.
Oh, I thought you already revealed this information at some point.
I have loose lips, man, but like, I don't know if we've said it on a main episode yet.
Loose lips sink dicks.
Yeah, they do.
That's true. I don't know. You're right. We have an audiobook coming out, and we both have recorded our portions of the audiobook.
Yeah.
And we're really excited about it. So pay attention. We'll tell you more about that when it comes out.
Yeah, but it's in the can. They're editing it now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our website is gayishpodcast.com.
We are on social media at Gayish Podcast.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or leave us voicemails, is 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Leave us a voicemail with your gayest and straightest. We need more. So
do
please,
it now or I quit.
Yes. Do it now or Mike will quit before, and the cruise will just be me alone and sad. If you want to email us, you can send us email at gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
Our physical mailing address, which received 0 birthday gifts, is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109.
Womp womp. That's okay. We know you love us.
Yeah. We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest. I will go first.
Okay, do it.
So the straightest thing about me this week is talking about siding, re-siding the house. The house needs new siding, and learning about the kinds of siding and the directions that they go and what they're made out of. And like, it's just the most hetero bullshit ever.
Yeah, for sure.
But then the gayest thing about me this week was looking at the siding guy's crotch.
Was it a good one?
It was a good one.
Good package.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like a porn in there that you could fantasize about.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And then it turned into a 3-way. So it was great. I made that part
in your head. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. How about you, Kyle?
For me, the gayest is talking to a coworker that had recently started and telling them about my podcast. And only after telling them about the podcast, realizing that effectively outed me.
Oh,
like I'm so used to talking about the podcast that I kind of forget that, like, oh, right, this outs me to this person.
Yeah.
Luckily, it was a very safe person to come out to. It was totally fine. It just kind of hit me afterwards that it was like, oh, right, this reveals how gay I am.
Yep.
My straightest is getting rejected because I was too mask.
What?
Your surprise tells me a lot. First of all. Second of all,
I mean, is it just the beard, or like?
I think it's the beard and the height. We need to go back to our height episode and talk about this more, because yes, I think I was rejected because of my beard and my height.
I almost got you a shirt that said "Not a top, just tall."
That would be ideal. Maybe next birthday.
Great.
We have a listener's Gayest and Straightest.
Yeah, we do. Let's hear it.
How are you, lads? Love the podcast. Bisexual lady here from Dublin in Ireland. And my Gayest and Straightest were last week, myself and my girlfriend got a new bed, which had to be put together. So I lesbianed up hard, put on the tool belt, out with the Allen key and the drill and all the other tools, and put the bed together. I was super proud of myself and felt very butch. Then, straightest, I made the bed up with beautifully ironed sheets and many, many throw cushions. So it looked very pretty. Have a great day. Bye.
Nothing like a Dubliner accent. I love it.
From Dublin.
Oh no, Kyle.
Oh shit. Sorry. I shouldn't have. Throw pillars are so fucking gay.
Yeah. But then if you're a lady, it makes it straight.
Yeah. It's funny how things are reversed when you're a dude versus a lady.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you for that. I'm glad that you got the bed together, and I hope that your butchness put it together in a way that lets you scissor effectively without it breaking.
Yes. We hope that you all scissor tonight. May all of us scissor tonight. I also want to thank our super gap bridgers. Thank you to Locomotive, Simon Srirachi, Kaylee Adams, Kid Oliver, Kobe Gordon, Squaggle, Pip, Andrew Bugby, William Bryant, John Crowley, Yost Osel, Jonathan Montañez, Forrest Nail, Steve Douglas, Explosive Azania, Michael Covington, Just Jamie, Thomas B, Dusty Sands, A. Coleman, Chris Cacciatorians, and Jerome York. Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your money. That's it. This has been Gayish from the Chris Cacciatorian Studios. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
See you next week. Hey, Kyle.
Hey, Mike.
I do not have my shit together today.
Dude, what do we need? What do you need in your life to get together?
I just need everyone to know that I don't have my shit together, as if it wasn't already apparent. Never mind.
Oh, you need me to leave this in, or do you need me to cut this?
No, it's fine. Just,
Okay.
I think they know.
Okay.